I get excited.
I love it. Don't ever change.
Conlon. So when I turn our mics off, will that take us off the stream? Okay. Just want to make sure.
Hi, Taylor.
And good evening, Saints fans. Stuart Davis and the Hall of Famer Gary Turcotte courtside inside the PE Center as we tip off the 2023-24 Carroll College Fighting Saints women's season. And what a season it could be. Gary Turcotte, this team comes in with high expectations once again, ranked number 6 in the country. And Coach Rochelle Sayers, like Tom Izzo at Michigan State, she is a masochist when it comes to scheduling. Right off the gate, number 4 in the country, Indiana Wesleyan, here in Helena for a rematch of a regular season last year that didn't go the Saints' way, but it's a new season, and Carroll returns a very talented roster led by Conference Player of the Year, preseason Player of the Year, All-American Jamie Pickens. Helena High standout.
Well, Carroll has got a lot of players back from last year. They got a lot of experience. They got size. They've got depth. And sometimes you're not as deep as you think you are, but I've seen them practice a few times, and I think they're pretty deep. So this is a good Carroll team, but they're playing a good Indiana Wesleyan team as well. A very good coach, Ethan Whaley. And last year they put it on Carroll pretty good. Probably Carroll's biggest defeat of the year. Really one of the really few poor games that they played, and that was due to the Indiana Wesleyan defense, which we'll talk about that more as the game goes on, Stuart.
You're exactly right, Coach. 59-36 was the score of that game. It was in Indiana last year.
Yeah.
And so Carroll ended up having a wonderful season, 26-7, 14-1 in the Frontier, number 2 seed in the national tournament after claiming a regular season and tournament Frontier Conference championship, only to have it all go away in the round of 16 to Dakota State. But you know, Coach, tournament basketball is its own thing, and any given night when it's a one-and-done proposition, you could bow out, and that's what happened to the Fighting Saints.
So much of it is about matchups, and that on a given day, to go all the way to get to the Final Four, and then to win it, you got to have favorable matchups, you got to have a healthy team, you got to have a deep team, and Carroll wants to really get past that round of 16. I think that's been kind of a bugaboo for them. And I think if they could do that, get to that round of 8 where Indiana Wesleyan got last year, then they would feel like, they've accomplished something.
Ironically, the team that knocked out Carroll in the round of 16 knocked out Indiana Wesleyan in the round of 8. So we were looking at a rematch between Wesleyan and the Fighting Saints in the round of 8, but it did not materialize. Of course, the team last year, Clark University out of Iowa would go on to beat St. Thomas More for the national championship. But this Fighting Saints team under Coach Rochelle Sayers, her 12th season at the helm, just an outstanding resume, 5 conference championships in the regular season, 5 tournament championships, conference tournament championships, but still looking for that national hardware, that regional championship, that national title, and she has a team that can do that this year.
Well, she does. Really, the only position that they don't return a lot of experience at is at the point. And I think as the season goes along, we'll find out who's going to be the point. We don't know for sure who it's going to be. Addie Ekstrom won't be playing tonight, but she's got point guard experience, and they'll have her ready probably after Christmas. So probably it'll be
kind of committee approach.
Kendall Keller, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Kendall Keller.
Yep.
Well, and she played the 2 last year, but she'll be at the point tonight. Kendall Keller, and she's a very good basketball player, and she'll probably be very effective at the point, but I'm interested to see how she does.
I called Kendall Keller's first ever high school game when I was up doing Blue Pony basketball in Havre, Montana. So, yeah, I've been around a little bit myself, Coach.
That is great. That's right. You were in Havre, and she started up there as a freshman,
She
right?
did, and then led them to a undefeated sophomore campaign that culminated with a state championship.
That's right.
And she's joined by another Havre Blue Pony, Sadie Phillies, who's also not playing tonight, as well as Claire Converse. They'll be out along with Addie Extra.
Now, that year that they won it, did they beat Billings Central? Or did they
They beat in the championship Hardin.
It's one of those two.
Yep, they beat Hamilton.
Yeah.
Then they beat Browning, and then they beat Hardin, and then of course Havertz won, I think, 4 of the last 5 state titles here. Dustin Kraski's doing an outstanding job, and Billings Central would beat them in the East Divisional, and then Capital would beat. Havertz would beat them in the state tournament. So
what a rivalry that is!
What a great rivalry! A great rivalry!
Yeah.
A player that will be in action tonight. That there was questions coming in the season. Erica Nesson, she's returning for her graduate year.
Yeah.
Had some injuries in the preseason, but is going to be out on the floor tonight.
And she'll come in as a backup point guard.
Yep.
And she's got a lot of experience, and she's a tough girl, works hard, and last year she. In the game, the semifinal game, she hit 2 threes late in that ball game that really put us over the top. And she didn't have a tremendous amount of success all year, but those 2 threes were unbelievable that she came in and hit them.
I spoke with Coach Sayers a couple of times last week, the day of the purple gold scrimmage, and then she also came by the radio station to do a preview interview, if you will. And she's very high on Erica's return.
Great.
And that is big. Another face that people around here might not be as familiar with, but they soon will be, Coach, is Willa Albrecht, the transfer from the University of Montana. She was a standout on the high school hardwood at Billings West, helped them to a co-state championship in 2020, and now she is going to be primed to join that core for the Fighting Saints.
Well, that's the 3rd University of Montana transfer here in about the last 4 years.
They're all on the roster right now.
All on the roster, right. And she brings, size, and she can really shoot. And you just, that's one thing you just got to have shooters. The way the game's played now with the 3-point line and everything, you got to have those shooters.
And she's versatile, Coach. She's 6 feet. She's a forward wing. She can handle the ball.
Yeah.
Great distributor, facilitator, makes players around her better, but can bang down low, knock down shots. She's a Swiss Army knife that they need.
Well, what a nice little highway we have from Missoula to Helena. We'll just keep that highway open, and we'll take the ones that want to transfer and play for a chance to win a national championship, which you have a chance to do that here, and we certainly want to keep that going.
A couple other players I want to mention, Coach. You're exactly right. Maddie Garrett joins Jamie for that super senior year, that COVID year to come back. I think this is actually Maddie's 6th year in the program. She's been a part of a lot of championship basketball in her time at Carroll. I apologize about that.
Well, and I've watched them practice several times, and I think she's improved. She's done a really nice job. She's more fit than she's ever been, really healthy, and she can shoot. She's another girl that can shoot, and she can score inside at the block. She runs the floor. She likes to run the floor and post up, get a steal. And she and Jamie have great chemistry together when they're on the floor together.
When we talk about the Fighting Saints, everything's there, but everything's there for this Indiana Wesleyan Wildcat team as well. As we mentioned, they come in ranked number 4 in the preseason. They were a round of 8 participant last year, and they returned 2 All-Americans. Now, Jamie Pickens was a first-team All-American last year, but they returned 2 in Jade Nutley. She is a 6-foot junior forward, and Lily Frazier, she was second-team All-American last year, the 5'10" junior guard. Now, Frazier didn't make the trip due to a family commitment, but they've got high-end talent as well here for Indiana Wesleyan.
Well, they do, and I saw the video. I saw a tape of the game last year when they put a thumping on Carroll, and I was really impressed with their defense. They played really, really good defense, and we'll talk about that as the game goes, and we'll see if they play the same way. They switched every screen, and they have real good size all around, so they can afford to switch. So we'll see how effective that is tonight. Good to see you guys.
Officials coming by the table right now. Players lining up on the court for the introductions of the starting lineups. Again, this is the tip-off to the season, Coach. What an exciting time. We're in the gym. Snow on the ground outside, but it's heating up here in the PE Center. It's going to be a lot of fun this season.
And, it's amazing to me. Nice crowd.
It is.
For October. Doesn't feel like October outside.
Well, there's high school football tonight in town,
Yeah.
but I'm sure a lot of people are like, I could go over to Vigilante and sit out in that cold, snowy weather. I could come into the friendly confines of the Peace Center and watch a top 10 national matchup.
Yeah.
And so we've got a lot of people on hand for what should be an exciting game. Right now, we're going to go ahead and let Lowell Peterson do the pregame announcements. We're going to step away. We'll be back with the tip-off here from the Peace Center between number 4 Indiana Wesleyan and your Fighting Saints, number 6 in the country. And as the national anthem comes to an end, starting lineup's about to be introduced on the floor. So welcome in once again to Carroll College Fighting Saints basketball. Stuart Davis and the Carroll Hall of Famer Gary Turcotte courtside to tip this season off. Now, Gary's partner in crime this season will be Nick Deason, but Nick Deason's on assignment with Carroll College football as they're in Southern Oregon, in Ashland, Oregon. So we wish the Fighting Saints all the best this Saturday. And Nick with a great call. We miss you, buddy. But Coach Turcotte, what an exciting game we have here tonight.
Well, Stuart, you and I have called games together before, and we always had a good time. We're going to have a good time tonight, and we're going to see some real competitive basketball. And there's something, Stuart, about your opening game. It's just something you've been thinking about it since last spring when you lost your last game. You've had your preseason, your summer, your fall camp, and now you're tipping it off against a good team in front of a nice, big, fun crowd. And it's cold outside, it's warm in here, and we're ready to go.
We are so ready to go. The introductions continue here at the Peace Center as the fans come to their feet, the lights go out, and Carroll about to make their way on the floor for the first time in the 2023-24 season. Again, the Fighting Saints finished last year with a 26-7 mark, 14-1 in the Frontier, claimed the Frontier regular season and tournament titles, and then bowed out in the round of 16 in the national tournament. Indiana Wesleyan, also a strong program, number 4 in the country. Last year they lost in the round of 8 and both these teams have national championship aspirations. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups. First, for the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan, they're going to be led out by their returning All-American, number 0, Jada Nutley. She's a 6-foot junior forward from Madison, Indiana. She'll be joined by Jasmine Griffin, a 5'8" freshman guard, number 14 from Ephrata, Pennsylvania. Also in the starting lineup, Taylor Fokima. She's a 5'11" redshirt sophomore guard, number 21 out of Sand Lake, Michigan. Rounding out the starting 5, number 23, Jordan Reed, a 5'10" senior forward from New Palestine, Indiana. And number 24, Claire Merrill, 5'9" senior guard from Kokomo, Indiana. Of course, Ethan Whaley is the head coach. Now this team is missing Lily Frazier, their second-team All-American. She is has a family issue. Well, not an issue. She's at a wedding. Let's go ahead and say it. We were told that she's at a wedding, didn't make the trip.
A family wedding.
Family wedding.
You don't want to miss those.
No, you don't. For Carroll, they're going to bring out number 0, Willa Albrecht. She's a 6-foot redshirt junior guard transferring in from the University of Montana, her first season at Carroll out of Billings, Montana. Kendall Keller, also formerly of the University of Montana. She's number 2, 5'9" senior guard. Number 15, Erica Nesson, a 5'7" guard. Number 42, Jamie Pickens, who tips it off into the backcourt. And Maddie Garrett round out your starting 5. Carroll wins the tip. They're going right to left, and it's Kendall Keller handling the ball, coach, as she drives down the left side of the lane, puts up a shot in. Won't go, but gets her own rebound. Second attempt won't go, and it's cleared by the Wildcats. Quickly down the floor, the Wildcats want to push the tempo, coach. We talked to some coaches before the game. They play good defense, and they play a high-tempo game.
Good overall size. Everywhere you look, they have a 5'8" freshman point guard. All the rest of the girls are all right around that 6-foot area.
Jasmine Griffin, inbounds. They get it into the corner, and the shot is up and good by the All-American Nutley. Her 2 from the baseline is the first 2 points of this ballgame, 2-0 in favor of the Wildcats. A little press at midcourt. Carroll able to maneuver around. Again, the Fighting Saints without Addie Ekstrom tonight as Kendall Keller pulls the 3 from the top of the key, no good. And back the other way comes Indiana Wesleyan, number 21, Taylor Fokima. Carroll in a zone defense. And working your way to the basket was Griffin right down the left side of the lane by Nesson for 2, 4-0 Saints. Or 4-0 Wildcats, I should say. More pressure at midcourt from the Wildcats. Carroll trying to get into their offense, coach. I don't think Jamie Pickens had a touch. Now she's got a touch there at the top of the key. Picked up by Nutley. What a matchup that's going to be throughout the ballgame. They try to go into the low block, and it's poked away. And pushing it forward is number 21, Fokima. Swing it around. Griffin going to drive again, and stolen by Albrecht, showing her defensive prowess. She's going to try to go coast to coast, gets into the lane, has it stripped away, and they're going to say last touched by Indiana Wesleyan. So Carroll will inbounds on the baseline. Coach, what have you seen so far?
Well, so far it looks to me like Indiana Wesleyan is a little bit quicker than I expected and able to beat Carroll off the dribble. Carroll's going to have to really, really focus in on staying down on the ball, not getting beat on the dribble. Defensively, they're in kind of a three-quarter court, half-court trap, which kind of can be just kind of irritating. And then back to their man-to-man defense, and we'll talk. Their man-to-man defense is different, Stuart. I'll talk to you about that as we go.
Yes, please do. Of course, Coach Turcotte, if you don't know, was the head coach of the men's program here, coached the women as well, and now giving his inside information. Nice inbounds pass, but then blocked as here comes Indiana Wesleyan leading 4-0. And Carroll looking to get a stop here on the defensive end, now in a man-to-man defense. Pickens picks up Nutley at the top of the key as she goes to the far side of the floor. Carroll with good pressure. Now the 3 and good, and that is Claire Merrill out of Kokomo, Indiana with the 3, and it's 7-0, Coach. Keller gets it across the timeline to Nesson, and active hands again with this defense by Indiana Wesleyan, getting hands on the ball in the passing lane. Carroll, though, able to keep possession. Keller cut off at the foul line, out to Garrett's. Down low, they go underneath. Will Albrecht gets the first 2 points for the Fighting Saints, 7-2 in favor of the Wildcats.
Nice little play set there by Carroll. Get the ball to Willa. get it close to the basket and get out of that 0 slot.
Carroll trails by 5, looking at a stop, and a wing 3 by Nutley won't go. Garrett fights for the board, but it's Pickens, her teammate, that comes away with it. Carroll trying to push the issue up the near side of the floor. Now down low, and the pass just a little too high for Maddie Garrett. And this Wesleyan team wants to speed you up and get you off balance.
Yeah, oh yeah, and Carroll had opportunity on the break that time. Maddie Garrett runs the floor extremely well for a big. She'll run right down the middle of the court. Carroll will be looking for her all night.
Right now, Carroll again looking to get the offense in gear. A hot start on the offensive end for the Wildcats. They lead 7-2 with 7 minutes left to play here in quarter number 1, and that was just too easy down, and she missed it. Jamie with good recovery as number 23, Jordan Reed, got to the rack but could not finish. Credit Jamie Pickens. And I believe Auburn, they're going to say, stepped out of bounds on the near side corner. But you've seen some drives to the basket, some blow-bys by Wesleyan on the offensive end.
They're quicker than I think the Carroll girls expected. Yeah.
A great first step there by Reed, but of course Pickens with a good recovery, able to affect that shot. And it remains 7-2. However, Carroll turns it over on the offensive end. And now once again in that zone defense as throwing it up near the rim is Reed, rebounded by the Fighting Saints. Keller looking to push it, has it poked away, but gathers herself. Aubrich's going to attack on the baseline, and then a double dribble, it looked like, Coach, and they do get her for it.
Yeah.
It was a good aggressive move, and then she was cut off.
Well, if you're going to drive baseline, you need to go all the way. If you drive, they're going to trap you down there, and that's what happened. She got trapped, had no place to go. And at this end, Indiana Wesleyan's kind of run like what I call a dribble drive, Stuart. Very spread, nobody down low. And they're going to try to beat you on the dribble, lots of back cuts.
Right now they're working down the perimeter. Nutley.
Yeah. 5 on the perimeter.
Swings it in, and now they're going to attack right with that dribble drive and one. That is Taylor Folkema. And you're right, Coach. The old Kentucky Wildcat, John Calipari, get everybody outside the three-point arc and then start attacking.
Well, then there's nobody inside to help when you beat them off the dribble. And that was a beautiful drive there by 21 Folkema. Yeah, that was beautiful with her left hand.
9-2 with the and one still to come. 6:10 left to go here in period number 1. Carroll trails by 7 in this season tip-off clash with number 4 Indiana Wesleyan. Carroll comes in ranked 6th in the country. Folkema having a big night, I believe 5 points on the evening with full court pressure now by the Wildcats, Coach.
They changed up their press that time, kind of a full court 2-2-1.
And it's really causing a lot of chaos for Carroll.
And this is how they play. And they play fast, they play aggressive, they press. So we've seen 2 different types of press already, Stuart, and both of them have been effective.
And we see now wholesale substitutions almost. Izzy Reed comes in for this Indiana Wesleyan team, as does number 10, Jade Hovey. Reed, number 4 on your program. Bria Garber also into the ballgame, number 25, and number 2 into the ballgame, Maddie Lawrence, the only player from the starting 5 to stay in, Claire Merrill. Carroll again trying to figure this team out. On the wing they go, the 3 up, no good by Reed, and Carroll able to.
No, that's the best defensive sequence Carroll has had right there. They really stayed down in their stance. They didn't get beat on the ball, made them take a tough shot.
So the Fighting Saints go to their bench for the first time tonight, and they bring in number 11, Ava Oakland. She's a 5'11 sophomore out of Boise. They get it over to Aubrich here on the near side, and maybe Coach wants to go a little bigger as Nesson checks out of the ball game. Kendall's going to attack from the elbow near side, cut off, gets it out to Aubrich, cut off on the baseline once again. Aubrich keeps her dribble. Dish down to Pickens. Jamie trying to spin in the lane, turn around, and good. Just what the doctor ordered.
That's her first touch. That's her first touch. I mean, in the scoring area.
Yep.
Right.
Get it to Jamie Pickens. You're right, Coach. As she closes out on Reed, forces a miss and rebounded by Garrett. And here come the Fighting Saints. After a 8-2 run, the Saints now looking to climb back in. First you got to get a stop and then get on the other end, and they do. A nice back cut down low by Auburn, and it's 10-6 in favor of Indiana Wesleyan.
And that's a great little set there that Carroll runs.
So Carroll trying to settle in. First game of the season. Saints ranked 6th in the country, Wesleyan 4th. Both these teams playing for their best position for March. A nice little scoop and score by number 10, Jade Hovey.
That's that dribble drive with nobody low, 5 people on the perimeter. That when you get by your man, there's nobody there to help because you're so spread. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Coach. I was just going to say, when you've got a lot of ball handlers on the floor, it just makes it, they can attack from anywhere. Carroll does not get the over and back, but Kendall Keller is tied up, and the jump ball possession arrow is going to give it Indiana Wesleyan as a timeout on the floor is called by the media. So we'll keep it right here for a second so I can get Coach Turcotte's thoughts on this. 3:58 left in quarter number 1. It's 12-6 early in this ball game, but what we've seen so far, Indiana Wesleyan causing a lot of problems on both ends of the floor, whether it's the different types of press and trapping they're throwing on the defensive end and that dribble drive they've got on the offensive end of the floor.
First of all, Carroll's got to get the ball reversed there. Indiana Wesleyan's able to get you on one side and keep the ball there so you can't get the ball back to the other side, and they just seal you off, and then you're kind of playing 2 or 3 against 5. Carroll's got to just relax a little bit, get the ball reversed, run their offense, get the ball into Jamie. They don't have an answer for Jamie. I promise you that they don't.
No.
But she's only had really one touch. But credit Indiana Wesleyan for what they're doing defensively. And then offensively, they've got you so spread out. And then if anybody gets beat on a dribble, it's really hard to rotate and help. So this is a real good ball club Carroll's playing tonight. This is a good team. And it's a great start for Carroll. But right now, Carroll's trailing 12-6, and it could be worse.
Yeah, and, credit Coach Sayers. She actually dialed it back a little bit because I think they opened with number 1 team in the country last year. So they're only opening up with the number 4 team in the country this year, Coach. But she said when I spoke with her this week, she wants to test her team and find out where the areas of growth need to come from.
Exactly.
And that's why you schedule these types of games.
Exactly right.
Obviously you want to win every game you play, but in October and November, it's about defining your ball club and getting ready for those big moments in March. And so right now, Carroll trails by 6, 12-6 with 3:50 and counting left in quarter number 1 out of the timeout. Indiana Wesleyan with the ball, working around the perimeter into the ball game for the first time. Ashley Mater now for the Wildcats. On the floor for Carroll, Ava Oakland stays in along with the other 4 starters, Jamie Pickens, Willa Albrecht, Kendall Keller, and Maddie Garrett. It'll be baseline inbounding for the Wildcats, far side of the floor. Carroll with good defensive pressure, and they get it over to Hovey. And now a little drive kick out on the wing. Lawrence has it, and we got a great job by Carroll, playing great defense that time.
Yeah, Carroll's defense is starting to get used to the quickness of Indiana.
Coach Sayers, one of the best in the business, is making adjustments throughout a ball game and did in that timeout. We'll see if they work on the offensive end as well. Oakland, the sophomore, trying to work it back and forth. Finally, they get across the timeline, dump it into the corner to Garrett's back up top to Oakland. And now Keller's going to kick into the corner. Albrecht 3, and it's too strong. And so another empty possession for the Fighting Saints, 12-6. They did have a good ball movement, but maybe still shot a little early in that clock, Coach.
Well, they still aren't getting the ball reversed.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd love to see them get the ball reversed.
And that time it was number 10, Jade Hovey, getting into the lane with a little one-hander, 14-6. So Carroll now once again trying to figure out the defense of this Wildcat team. They get it to Garrett's in the corner. And then a turnover. Sprinting out is Garber the other way. She's going to take it in, the freshman, and will draw the foul off Keller. Garber, a 6-foot freshman out of Goshen, Indiana. Bria Garber. And that'll be the second team foul on the Saints, and the first on Kendall Keller as she'll check out of the ball game. Erica Nessen back in. So right now we're seeing a tight rotation for the Fighting Saints.
No matter how much you practice against pressure, when you get in against a team that's quick and really knows how to put pressure on, it takes you a while to get used to it. It's not the same. You can't simulate it in practice. And right now the pressure is bothering Carroll. Both the press, full court, and then the half-court press. So now they're back to their 1-2-2, kind of a three-quarter court trapping press, and then sometimes they'll go to a full court press out of it.
Both free throws were good by Garber. She checks out of the ball game. And now down the sideline, Nesson goes, swinging it over to Oakland here on the near side. She gets it up top to Albrecht. And you're right, it's kind of like in football, Coach, when you don't tackle in the preseason. It takes a little bit to get your feet under you, and seeing this in real live fire action can knock you back a little bit.
It can, and it has. If the Carroll's back on their heels with this defensive pressure.
So Albrecht's going to inbound here on the near side in front of the Wildcats bench. They get it into Nesson. 16-6 our score. Carroll trails by 10 with 2:20 left in the first quarter, and we've got a foul away from the ball. I think they're going to get Oakland with a push. Offensive foul on Ava Oakland as another turnover for the Fighting Saints. That's their third team foul. First on Oakland with 2:19 left to go here in period number 1.
They're so effective at getting you on one side of the floor and not letting you reverse it, and then pressuring the heck out of the ball. It's just a real good defensive team.
And they're doing this without their second team All-American. Who's not here, Lily Frazier, a dynamic 5'10 guard, as once again the Wildcats set to make wholesale changes. Reed gets into the lane, Lawrence, and can't connect. Cleared by Albrecht, who's going to push it ahead. Again, really, the ball handling is going to be the issue this year, as the 3 by Pickens top of the key won't go. And sprinting out are the Wildcats, number 15, Ashley Mader, quickly getting the offense set for Indiana Wesleyan. Carroll trying to get a stop as they trail by 10 with about 90 seconds left here in quarter number 1. A little tip to the corner, and Lawrence attempts to throw it off. So I'm not sure the call.
I think he called, she stepped out of bounds, and then he warned about a flop.
Oh, okay. So that was
a flop.
That was Maddie Lawrence that. So they warned Carroll.
They warned Carroll about a flop.
Okay.
Yeah. So some kind of a new rule, and I haven't seen the new rules, and we'll get that ready for the next game. Each year the NCAA, see, they got a.
That was a kick, but they didn't call it, as good pressure and a trap forces a turnover and a bucket the other way by number 23, Jordan Reed. Yeah, so it was out of bounds on Indiana Wesleyan, and then they warned Carroll with a fake flop. And so then Indiana Wesleyan, though, continued to play, dialed up the pressure, got a turnover, and they lead by 12 points, Coach, with a minute left here in quarter number 1, as Carroll really can't find any rhythm on offense.
See how they'll force you to the sideline. Then that Carroll actually got the ball reversed that time. Ooh.
Maddie Garrett's with a 3. There was contact, no call. And quickly the other way goes Reed. And active hands by Oakland. They're going to say last touched by Reed. And so a turnover by the Wildcats will give it to the Fighting Saints. We're here courtside, but I've got Coach Whaley in front of me. And so I couldn't see the play on Garrett's, but it looked like she was contacted on that 3 on the other end of the floor. And now Nesson trapped and trying to fight through it and picks up the foul, or she's fouled on the play by number 25, or 24, excuse me. That is Claire Merrill. And that is the 4th team foul on the Wildcats. With 29 seconds left to go here in quarter number 1. 18-6 our score. Carroll trails by 12. And so active. Again, they get out on every pass.
Oh, it's just amazing how much pressure they put on you. They're just really aggressive girls.
Relentless.
And they get after you. They do.
And Carroll's got to meet that intensity. There's one thing that no matter what your skill level is, the intensity, the hustle, and they've got to match that.
You see how that was called the ice? Mm-hmm. You know, they don't. Oh, there you go. They got the ball reversed that time.
Nice cut.
Nice pass by Jamie.
Great pass by Pickens to a cutting Ava Oakland, and now it's 18-8. Stops the bleeding momentarily. Final 10 seconds of the quarter, and Carroll looking to get a stop, as it's been all Wildcats really throughout this first period. Turnaround by Nutley, partially blocked by Pickens, and you can see Jamie Pickens with that glare.
Yeah.
Get her going. That'll be a big thing, but got to get her the ball, and then they did on that last possession, and she was able to get the assist. So after one period of play, Coach, 18-8, our score in favor of the visitors from Indiana. The Wildcats on top. And what are these adjustments you want to see made here from period to period?
Well, I think, first of all, Carroll's got to have a little bit better plan how to handle the half-court trapping defense. They need to find a way to attack out of it and burn them and be more aggressive out of it because they haven't hurt the press. And if you don't hurt the press, eventually the press just gets better and better and better. And the press is very effective. And then once they get into their half-court offense, get the ball reversed. The defense that Indiana Wesleyan plays, it's called ice, where when they get the ball on the side, they force your baseline,
okay,
and they don't let you reverse it, and it's very effective when you do it aggressively as they do. If Carroll can get the ball reversed one time, they'll get a good shot, but it's hard to do. And you have to have good, smart passers to do it.
And the ball can't stick. It needs to keep moving.
It's got to move.
And, Coach, that comes into play where I don't think it's going to be a weakness as the season goes on, but defining ball handlers. We don't have a true point guard this year.
Exactly.
It's a committee effect right now. Maybe when Ekstrom gets back, they're hoping maybe around Thanksgiving in December when Frontier play opens up. But that is, against a team like Wesleyan, that is a glaring weakness in game one. It won't be a weakness, I think, for the Fighting Saints down the stretch, but it is an issue right now.
Well, it is, and it's just you're up against a quality team that's on their game. They really are.
Yeah, they're looking mid-season form in that first quarter, Coach, without their second-team All-American. Want to give a shout-out to the Special Olympics Montana. The state tournament will be here in Helena in November in a few weeks. Had some Special Olympics athletes honored there between the periods. A very exciting time. About 800 Special Olympic basketball players from around the Treasure State will descend here in Helena for the state tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun here in the Queen City of the Rockies. Also a big night on the gridiron for the Helena High Bengals. They're in action, first round high school playoffs, Class AA here in Montana, taking on the Billings Skyview Falcons. Helena, the 3 seed, looking to get a win and advance to the quarterfinals. Back underway, second quarter about to begin. Carroll will start with the ball, and it's Albert getting it into Oakland. And she gets it back out. 3 look from the wing, and Willow with 5 points now as she drains the tray, 18-11. Good ball movement inside out that time.
Real nice.
Working around the perimeter go the Wildcats as, again, like Coach said, they like to spread you out and attack the rack. And they did it with great effectiveness again that time. Taylor Folkma, she'll come in and draw the foul. That'll be the first team foul of the Fighting Saints here in period number 2. Stops the clock with 9:38 left, and she'll go to the line.
You know, you said something earlier, Stuart, that in order to play the style that Indiana Wesleyan plays, you got to have all girls that can handle the basketball. I haven't seen anybody who can't.
I know.
Maybe there's somebody out there that can't.
And they're not big.
I haven't spotted her.
And that's the thing with modern basketball. You don't have to be a big team when you've got that versatile 6 foot, 5'11" versatile guard that
can handle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes the big a little irrelevant. And not that Jamie Pickens is ever irrelevant, but they're taking her out of the game by just what they've done on both sides. Pickens picks up that loose ball, of course, and of course, Jamie's the best player on the floor by far, but the way they're defending, it's just not allowing her opportunities. Now they go inside, great step through, great opportunity, and that's what they need to do, Coach.
Yep.
They've got to feed the post to Jamie Pickens.
That's where Carroll has a big advantage, and that's a nice little play there by Carroll to get her the ball. You got to beat the press, and then you got to be patient and get the ball inside.
So Pickens will get to the line to shoot the first 2 and make it. And now it's 18-12. She'll have one more. And when I say Indiana Wesleyan's not big, Coach, they're long.
They are long.
They're a lengthy team. Yes. They don't have that 6'2", 6'3" post, but they are a long team. Pickens goes 1 of 2, rebounded by Nutley, who again was an honorable mention All-American performer last year for this team. In the high post, driving down the lane, Folkema, and it's missed, and there's a rebound by Jamie Pickens. Gets it over to Kendall Keller as Carroll looks to string together a couple of productive offensive possessions now, but more pressure there up top.
Boy, they put a lot of pressure on the ball up top.
She does. Active hands and diving on the floor. Oakland comes away with it and gets it to Jamie Pickens. He says, let's reset this thing. And now Trying to come off the screen is Keller. Scoop with the right hand, no good. Rebounded there by Folkema, and she's going to push the break. Coach attacks the rack, and good defense by Garrett not to pick up the foul. Up and down we go. It's becoming a track meet with 8:22 and counting here in the first half. Oakland out on the wing, gets to the baseline, now hands it off to Pickens. Dumps cross court. There's Garrett's looking for the wing three, too strong. She's really working on that shot, though, and they've really kind of camped her out down there
just
on the perimeter.
Just the pressure makes you shoot just a little quicker than you want to.
Exactly right.
Not quite in rhythm.
Because you had their first one blocked, and that can throw the timing off.
It can.
Izzy Erickson was coming to the score table. We'll check in for the first time as it looked like Carroll was going to come away with a strip, and they call a foul on Erica Nesson, her first, team's third, I believe. Izzy Erickson will come in for Garrett.
It looked like a real nice steal there.
It did.
Really did.
Again, this first game for officials as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So second team foul on the Fighting Saints. First on Nesson as Indiana Wesleyan leading 18-12. Will have the ball just under 8 minutes left until halftime. Nutley coming off the screen now gets it into the corner to Folkman. Got an extended arm. Yeah, Oakland stems in. You saw that arm extended on the drive, Coach, and they got her.
And
for
Ava
it.
has improved her defense unbelievably from a year ago. She has really, really worked on improving her lateral mobility, and you saw a good example of it there.
Yeah, Oakland again, 5'11", true sophomore out of Boise High School in Boise, Idaho. Trapping in the backcourt, pressure again. Erickson able to run it down, and now Carroll has numbers. There's Oakland underneath.
And they actually burned the press that time. Now that's the first time they've burned the press. And they have to burn it.
And so Carroll, a second assist by Pickens tonight. Makes it a 4-point game, Coach. All of a sudden, Carroll can cut it to a one-possession score when we look up at the scoreboard. And look at Oakland showing her handles behind the back dribble. Gets it out to Keller. A couple of subs coming in for both teams at the next stoppage. 7:10 left here in the first half. 15 on the shot clock. High post, Pickens coming to set a screen. Kendall goes away from it. Now they roll her to the hoop. Out to Nesson, 9-8 on the shot clock. They get it to Jamie. And trap her down low, and we're going to get a foul on the floor.
Every time Jamie has touched the ball, something good has happened.
Yep. And
but they make it real hard to get her the ball.
Yeah,
it's tough. It ain't easy to get her the ball.
And Jamie Pickens, I trust, Coach.
Yeah.
First team All-American, co-conference player of the year, preseason player of the year, 3 state titles at Helena High. How much time we got to roll through all her accolades?
And one of the things Carroll's doing is they're playing much better defense.
Yes.
They're really locking down defensively, not giving up those easy shots that they did the first quarter.
So that was a foul on the floor. And we've got a stoppage in play with 6:55 left to go in the first half. And Carroll look up now. They're down 18-14. They trailed 18-6, Coach. And they're now on a nice little 8-0 run. A bucket down here makes it a one-score game.
Yeah, the defense has really come around for Carroll. They've worked, I know Coach Sayers has worked really hard on her man-to-man defense. And they take great pride in that. And you have to build on that, and they've done a great job with it, and it's starting to show here in the second quarter.
It really is, and again, the first game, you don't know what you're going to get as far as how things materialize.
Yeah.
There's a lot of excitement. You've been beating up each other in scrimmages and practices, and you finally get out against another opponent, and what an opponent it is here in Indiana Wesleyan. That, again, has national championship aspirations, as do the Fighting Saints.
Right.
Of course, Carroll's picked to win the league again. Coach, they were the conference and regular tournament and regular season champions last year. And these are the types of games that will get them set up for a grinder that is the Frontier.
Well, it is. And these are the kind of games that make you better. Even a game like this is better for you than even playing a Division I opponent because you're apples to apples.
Yes.
You're playing a team that's like you and that's good. And this is the kind of team at the end of the year that you have to beat to advance at the national tournament.
And it's a different style of play you'll see than what you see in the Frontier. As Carroll inbounds on the baseline, gets it to Jamie Pickens. Skip pass along the baseline. Keller has it blocked. And they've done that a couple times. That closeout, I mean, she was 10 feet away.
They fly at you and leave their feet, and they don't care if you're going to shot fake and drive. But they're going to take away your three.
So now Carroll will stay with possession. Inbounding from the corner as Oakland gets it out to Erickson. So would you recommend the shot fake on that?
Yeah, the shot fake and drive will be there. Watch how much pressure they put up on top. Poor Kendall Keller's under relentless pressure.
Nice drive by Oakland again, Coach. Her 4 points on the evening.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-point game, 18-16, with 6.5 minutes left in the first half. I'm really impressed by Ava's play tonight.
And you should be. And she's really had a good pre-fall.
Again, one of those pieces that's playing a much bigger role here in year 2 in the program. Veteran club here at Carroll. Nice play by Erickson, staying with the man, not using the body, getting enough length and getting the block. And now the Saints have a chance to tie or take the lead for the first time tonight, Coach. What do you want to see here?
Well, I'd love to get it inside.
As Pickens sets the
There's
screen.
so much pressure on the ball, it's hard.
A nice cut again, that two-man game with Pickens and Oakland. We've seen Pickens roll out to that wing and Oakland come in that space in the middle.
Looking at Indiana, they're great defensively on-ball pressure. They're not as good off-ball. If there's a weakness in their defense at this time, and I'm sure Coach will fix that up, it's off-ball. You do have a chance to hurt them if you can get some cutters off-ball.
So Carroll again with the ball, trailing by 2. That was the third team foul on this Wildcats team. Latest was on Claire Merrill. Her second. 6 on the shot clock. Kendall Keller's got it. Got to make something happen. Drive, another scoop. Taking really tough shots. That's about the third time we've seen her try the reverse. Degree of difficulty is very tough on those. She can make them. As no call on the other end, and Carroll once again has a chance after a defensive stop to tie or take the lead.
Some number of. Oh, there's a bad pass there.
Yeah. Tipped away, and here comes Nutley now, the do-it-all player for this team. And we've got an offensive foul, a moving screen by Nutley, who did not agree with the call.
No, that's a good call. That's right.
So offensive foul on Jade Nutley, who is going to check out of the ball game with her second personal foul. Team's fifth. 5:09 left to go until halftime. Carroll with the ball and down to 18-16. Erickson will throw it into Keller, joined on the floor by Oakland, Garrett, and Nesson. Pickens is getting a breather. And more of that pressure in the backcourt, Coach.
Yeah.
And they've run a deep bench. I think that we've seen 10 girls.
They haven't.
In the first.
It doesn't seem like they drop off a ton either.
No, and I'm sure Coach Whaley says if you're going to be on the court, you're going 100 miles an hour, and they just keep that pressure dialed up. As now Carroll again breaks the press, gets into the front court, but late in the shot clock, it eats up that shot clock.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're down to 11.
Oakland able to hold on to it, behind the back dribble, gets it out to Nesson, and a block again. We've seen a couple of blocks there by 23 Reed, but Nesson stays
What a
with
nice
it.
finish by Nesson.
Erica Nesson
She got her
stayed
shot
with it.
blocked. She picked it up, drove to the basket, and finished.
And we're tied at 18, Coach, with 4.5 left in the first half. What a game we have opening night here at the P Center. Conlon Berkey here on press row as well. Didn't even get a reaction out of him. He's working hard, folks. Underneath they go, and up and good is the basket by Lawrence. And back on top go the Wildcats.
They were stuck on 18 for a long time.
Yes, they were. Carroll had gone on a 12-0 run to tie it.
And that time Kendall Keller split the trap and drew a foul. And so she'll get some free throws. And this could get her going because I don't think she's scored yet.
Not having the best debuts tonight. We know how talented and how important she is. She was picked preseason first-team all-conference.
And she's that kind of good. But she's playing the point. She hasn't played that since probably high school.
Right.
And it's new.
And you just want to see the ball go through the hoop right there.
You do.
When you're struggling, you just want to see it go through however it goes through.
That really helps.
And so Carroll now 2019 trails with Keller's second attempt, one of the best free throw shooters in the Frontier a year ago, and she ties it at 20. Our third tie of the ball game, as Kendall Keller last season, 92% from the charity stripe last year, Coach.
Yeah.
Under 4 minutes left to play in the first half. Lawrence throws it out on the wing. And now she gets it back off her foot, and it's going to go out of bounds. Garrett tries to body her that way, and Nesson now with the ball. In transition go the Saints, and here goes Keller, and they're going to say she dropped the shoulder. She definitely initiated contact and maybe leaned a little too much. That is a 50-50 call.
You know, I've been watching too much NBA, and for sure that's a block in the NBA.
Yeah.
But
especially how deep she was. She's in that restricted arc.
She was, but that's the help defender that on inside the arc, not the ball side defender.
Okay.
Yeah, but it could have gone either way. You're right, Stuart.
So Carroll looked like they were going to take their first lead of the ball game,
yeah.
And now it stays tied at 20 apiece with 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Stuart Davis, Gary Turcotte here courtside. Thanks for tuning in on the Carroll stream. Coach Turcotte will be with you throughout the season, calling Carroll men's and women's basketball. A nice drive there by number 23, Jordan Reed. He's going to get to the charity stripe. That foul was on at Garrett's, her first. Fourth team foul for Carroll. And we've seen Jamie get a breather. About what time do you want to bring in Jamie in the later stages of this half? Jamie Pickens.
I would say about now. I like Jamie in the game.
I do too.
Ellie Denny, a freshman, is in the ball game.
Legacy player.
It's been a while since we've had a pure freshman play, and she is a pure freshman.
Yes.
Yeah, legacy players, right.
Christine Denny, her sister, starred here for the Fighting Saints under Coach Sayers.
What a player she was.
She played earlier in the alumni game along against the JV. Carroll women have a JV program, which we think we'll see more schools in the Frontier eventually have. Both free throws there by Reed were good, and back on top go the Wildcats by 2, 22-20. Nice cut by Maddie, little scoop underneath, a nice baseline.
And they did a real
cut.
nice job against the press that time. Very nice against the press.
So a different lineup for Carroll as it was tied at 22 momentarily, but just like that, the Wildcats go back on top. That was number 15, Ashley Mader, with the layup. And they're going to get a backcourt violation.
And that's that pressure they put on you on top. I mean, they do as good a job of half-court pressure as any team we will play this year. And that includes the Bobcats.
And Mader shows her acumen on both ends of the floor, scoring the last basket, forcing a turnover. And you mentioned the Bobcats. We're going to talk about that later in the broadcast. They're coming here in a week.
They are.
In
Unbelievable.
A week. What a great game, the Daniel Sally game.
That's right.
So excited to see Daniel Sally, now the voice of the Montana State University Lady Bobcats. He'll be here. Two-time NCAA tournament appearances, back-to-back tournament appearances, I say, for the Lady Cats. And a missed opportunity for the rebound by the Fighting Saints, and this Wildcats team will make you pay. That's number 14, Jasmine Griffin, and it's back up to a four-point lead.
Now they're picking up man press now, so this is the third different type of press.
Ellie Denny works her way all the way down to the low block and then kicks it out. Probably could have maybe tried to go all the way in with that left hand.
Look at the pressure they put on top. Boy, they make it tough up there. The half-court pressure.
They're all over it. When it's passed, you're right, off the ball not as much, but they give you a little leeway. Spin by Oakland won't go, and it's Erickson, I believe, with the board. Put back, and great job by the Billings Central product.
And she is a relentless offensive rebounder.
Izzy Erickson comes in and turnaround jumper makes it a 2-point game. Under a minute 40 left here, and here comes Pickens to finish up the first half to the delight of Gary Turcotte and the Carroll faithful.
Move it.
Down low, Gerber switched her feet and can't hit it. Nice job by Erickson to stay in front. She's a really good defender, Coach.
Yeah, she can defend and really good rebounder.
And so now Nesson's going to go up top with the ball. Kind of a horn set there for the Fighting Saints.
Horn set, yeah.
A couple players in the high post, and they go out of it. Garrett's now tries to get that positioning, working down low. And a steal on the entry pass by Griffin, and here come the Wildcats. Under a minute left to play. Griffin all the way down. Erickson comes over. No free lunches, says Izzy, but that'll send Griffin to the line and stops the clock with 53.8. Griffin will shoot 2 as Pickens checks back into the ballgame. That's the first on Erickson. So when we see Pickens come in the ball game, Maddie's going to play on the perimeter a lot more. We saw them post up Maddie a little bit more as Pickens was out of the ball.
They're a little bit interchangeable, but Maddie is a more comfortable on the perimeter. Jamie, of course, I don't think anybody can stop down at the low.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But Maddie can post up too. She can.
And free throws are good by Griffin, 28-24, 52 seconds left here in the first half. Carroll trailed by as many as 12 in this game, Coach, but it went on a 12-0 run and tied it, and now they're looking to stay within a possession as we get a 10-second call. First time we've gotten the 10-second, but you knew it might come as much pressure as they've been applying on the Fighting Saints. And as I mentioned earlier, even if they don't get the 10-second count, if they're getting it to 8-9, that's taking
off the shot clock. Sure it does.
Oh, my goodness. You're having less time to work
This
with.
is a high-quality team that's here in the PE Center tonight that Carroll's playing. It's just a great opponent for us.
Yes, and Carroll's right there with them. I mean,
yeah.
Carroll obviously can play a lot better, but they're not playing poorly. I think Indiana Wesleyan is playing very well, but this is a back-and-forth affair right now. Carroll just a couple of possessions down as Gerber's going to try to take Denny off the dribble. Pickens stands her ground, and we got a charge. Great
Nice
job
job.
by
You
Jamie
bet.
coming on help side.
Yep.
And a little out of control was Gerber, the freshman.
Yeah, Carroll's defense has definitely picked up the second quarter much better than the first.
So we've seen some interesting combinations on the floor, and that's what these early games are about, figuring out what the rotation is, who plays well together. Ellie Denny stays on the court with Nesson, and the kick, they missed a kick earlier. They got it that time. That's the second kick they've called against the Wildcats. But, yes, the struggles are real on advancing this ball. That's why you've got to, when they do miss the Wildcats, try to push it as quickly as possible, I would imagine, Coach. A little trap. They get it to Pickens down on the wing, far side. Oakland's going to drive baseline, uses her size, has it partially blocked. And they're back the other way. They're going to run out. Great transition at the buzzer, and it's going to go. Number 23, Jordan Reed, coast to coast to make it a 30-24 game at the break, Coach. And we'll get a few of your thoughts right now before we take our first time out of the night, and then we'll get more in-depth when we get some stats.
Yeah, I think the press has been a big factor. I think if there's the difference, the 6-point difference in the game right now is the press. And they press three different ways. It's a 1-2-2, three-quarters court, kind of a half-court type of trap at times, a 2-2-1 press that's very pressure, and then a man-to-man press. And they do them all well. And it has kept Carroll kind of on their heels, and it's taken them kind of out of what they want to do. And if Carroll, if they can make some good halftime adjustments and handle that press, they still got a good chance to go back and beat this team. This is a good team, but Carroll's pretty good too.
Oh, without a doubt. It is 30-24 at the break.
Yeah.
This game, there are a lot of basketball still to be played, the third and fourth quarters. We're going to take our first timeout, Coach.
All righty.
Get a little respite. We're going to step away for about 5 minutes.
All right.
We come back, we're going to get some first half stats. We're going to get more analysis from you and kind of thoughts about the season at large here on the first night of the Carroll College Fighting Saints season opener at the PE Center. But right now, Carroll trails Indiana Wesleyan at the break 30-24. We'll be back in about 5 minutes here on the Carroll Stream. And welcome back into Carroll College Fighting Saints basketball as halftime winds down here inside the Peace Center. Season opener for the Carroll College Fighting Saints women's team, ranked 6th in the country. They trail 30-24 here at the break to the 4th-ranked team in America, the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats. Stuart Davis and the Carroll Hall of Famer Gary Turcotte courtside. And Coach, looking at over some halftime stats, this is a game in which Carroll trailed by 12 points at one time, 18-6, went on a 12-0 run and tied it a couple of times, but could never get the lead, and then gave up a couple of baskets late to be down 6. But the turnovers really were the issue handling this pressure.
They were 11 Carroll turnovers, and the full court press mostly it was what caused Carroll to be out of rhythm. And it's a really good press. Actually, they press different ways, different times. They really match up on your press breaker. They're just really well coached. And when Carroll was able to handle the press, get into their offense, they were in command. When they weren't able to do that, when Indiana Wesleyan was able to dominate with their press, keep Carroll off balance, they were in command. So we'll see who the second half, who makes the best adjustments, and which kids are able to rise up. And believe me, Carroll's playing hard defensively too. Carroll's getting after Indiana Wesleyan, and they're doing a nice job defensively as well.
What would you like to see Carroll do here in this second half, Coach? What out there? I'm obviously getting more touches to Jamie Pickens is an obvious answer. Beating that pressure, you've got to just maintain that. But what would you like to see?
Carroll can't have 11 turnovers and win this game, the second half, like they did. Carroll needs to, single digits, under 5 turnovers the second half. Get back into their offense and, play the same kind of defense that they played that second quarter, and they'll have a good chance. But it could come down to the very end. I think it probably will.
So starters back here for the second half. The same for Carroll that started the game. It's Keller, Garrett, Albrecht, Nesson, and Pickens. Looking at the leading scorer for Carroll is Willa Albrecht with 7 points, while Ava Oakland off the bench with 6. Keller with 2, Nesson 2, 3 from Pickens, 2 from Garrett, and Izzy Erickson has 2 as well. But it's going to be Wesleyan to start off with the ball. Driving in, number 14, Jasmine Griffin has her pass poked away, but run down by Nutley. Leading the way is Griffin with 6 points, along with Jordan Reed for this team. Nutley trying to add to her total, misses that shot. Pickens trying to get out and run and able to corral the ball. And Carroll with a stop on the opening possession of the second half. And now Garrett has it up high, looks around. Again, pressure from everywhere as Pickens drives baseline, spins into the double team, can't get it, but stays with it, misses. There's a putback by Albrecht, no good. Carroll continues to dominate the glass, and finally they get it to go. 30-26 as, again, Jamie Pickens relentless on the boards there, Coach. Back the other way we go. Driving in, shot up and good off the glass by number 24. That's Claire Merrill. She's got 5 points on the evening. And it's back to a 6-point lead for the Wildcats, 32-26. Again, getting into the shot clock, 10 seconds really have elapsed by the time Carroll's able to get into these shot clocks, Coach. So they're really working with about a 20-second shot clock.
Yeah,
Triple team on Pickens. Gives it out to Keller. Now she's going to put it on the deck. Late shot clock. Keller's going to try to scoop one up and leaves it short. That's a shot clock violation. We've seen that happen about 4 times.
Well, and it's Stuart, the point that you're making is really valid. At the press, it takes you, 12 seconds just to get organized after that press, because they keep it on you once you get it over the half court. Then you don't have as much time as you'd like to run your set offense.
You're working with an NBA shot clock at that point.
You are, you're right.
You really are.
Yeah.
And so Carroll now turns it over on the shot clock violation as Nutley has it and hands it off. Griffin, leading scorer tonight, drives. And we've got a reach-in foul on the Saints. I believe they're going to get Pickens with that. And that'll be Jamie's, is that her second?
Yeah.
Oh, that's her first.
That's her first.
That's good. That's good.
There weren't a lot of fouls called the first half.
No.
There really weren't.
So that is the first team foul, first personal foul of the half. Missed shot. We got a jump ball. Possession area is going to give it to the Saints. So a little bit of a slow start to this one. Just like the first quarter, if you remember, it was up and down, and it's a slow scoring affair. And then it really heated up midway through the first period, especially through the Wildcats. And then Carroll again had that 12-0 run in the second quarter to tie it up at 18, and then back and forth we went. 32-26, Carroll looking to make this a 4-point game with a bucket here. A 3 would actually make it a 3-point contest. Now they find Pickens on the low block. Garrett with a nice cut, but can't get it. Jamie there. Now spins away, turns around, and leaves it short. It's like a lid on the rim right now, Coach. As Carroll comes up empty with some point-blank looks. And back the other way strong, attacking the rack, was number 21, Jordan Folkema. And then Folkema, after the miss, is going to be called for the foul.
She put a whack on Jamie after she missed that shot.
Have you noticed that when Jamie does get on the low block, it is a triple team? I mean, they collapse.
They're coming from the weak side to triple her, to double her every time, and sometimes they're coming down from the ball side. Very effective.
So Pickens will check out to get a breather, get a little rest. The foul was on Folkman. That was her third, team's first. And they're going to swing it over to Albrecht. Pickens stays in the ball game. I thought she had checked out. She just went over to talk to the bench there momentarily. Nice cut there by Keller, and it'll stay with the Fighting Saints. And again, Kendall Keller was a Gatorade Player of the Year in Montana along with Pickens. They were both state Gatorade Players of the Year their senior years respectively, and both started at the University of Montana.
Nice out-of-bounds play there by Coach Sayers to get Kendall her first field goal.
And Kendall Keller now with 4 points on the evening as she made both free throws. Drive there by Nutley and one. That was a great move.
Well, they're very effective. They get you all spread out like they do, and then to get that dribble drive. And she kind of did a spin dribble and attacked, and Jamie tried to block the shot, and she kind of scooped it under her. She didn't really try to go over the top of her.
So Pickens, who had no fouls in the first half, picks up 2 here in the first part of period number 3. And Coach Nutley, honorable mention All-American. She's first-team All-Conference performer in the Crossroads. But she is a subtle, really good athlete. Yep. You don't see it right away, and then all of a sudden the way she moves on the court, just like she did on that play, and she completes the 3-point play. Largest lead of the second half now for the Wildcats. They've got it up to 7. And another shot clock violation. You look on the clock, 20 seconds, and Carroll just has no answer for that press right now.
Yeah, it's and they change it up. They don't give you the same look, the same press. Sometimes it's a little bit more passive, and sometimes it's real aggressive.
And when you don't have those defined ball handlers like Carroll has yet to develop, which they will, it makes it that much more difficult as Griffin goes to the rack, misses. But what do you need to do on that? How do you flash people? Because they're trapping and getting so quickly. They're moving you to – you need to stay in the middle of the floor?
You got to get it reversed a little quicker than they're getting it reversed.
Maddie Garrett with a nice bucket off the glass, 35-30 now. Carroll trails by 5 with just over 6 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. As once again, wholesale changes coming for the Wildcats on the next dead ball. 3 is short there by Jasmine. And the Saints come the other way, looking to make this a one-possession game with the ball being knocked away. Trying to force it in.
There.
Garber, excuse me. And the 3 from the wing, and that's really a turnover that leads to a 3.
Yeah.
Number 24 there, Claire Merrill. And now we're back up to an 8-point lead. Now I can say it again, the largest of the second half. The Saints just beat the clock, Coach, by a second. Now wide open. Willa Albrecht need that to go. Won't go, but Garrett's there for the rebound and put back. Maddie with 4 straight points. And Carroll, again, they need to keep this one close. They can't get down by 12 again. They can't afford to do that. So Maddie doing her part to keep this to single digits. 38-32 our score. Under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. First game of the season for both teams. As Jade Nutley has it taken away. Albrecht with a nice strip, and we're going to get a jump ball, and that arrow will stay with the Wildcats. And for the veteran club we've got, we haven't even mentioned the losses as we go to timeout with
Right.
4:43, 38-32 our score.
Two really good ball handlers, Camden Hilborn and Sienna Swanik, were both with. I mean, Sienna could have been a great point guard, but she played with Camden.
Yeah.
So, they wouldn't have this kind of problem against the press.
Right.
And they were both fifth-year girls and pretty solid girls. So that's a big loss. That it'll take time for these other girls to step up and be comfortable. But against that press, I think you've got to drive hard at it and reverse it quickly. You can't fool around with it. You got to attack it, reverse it quickly, and then try to get the ball to the middle. And they really don't have anybody in the middle right now. They're sending three down, and it's starting to work a little bit better. But you got to be real solid with the ball in the backcourt.
It seems like they're doing such a good job, Indiana and Wesleyan, when Carroll does get it over on a sideline. I mean, just collapsing, because obviously the sideline, that's a great defender.
Well, it is. Yeah.
That's a great defender.
You won't see a team press better in the country. I mean, with they have good athletes, not great athletes. There'll be some teams maybe with great athletes that press better, but not with just good athletes like they have. That presses better than Indiana Wesleyan.
Pardon my English, but it reminds me of Arkansas Razorbacks in 1994 when they won the national championship against Nolan Richardson. They called it 94 feet of hell.
That's right, they did call that.
And they pressed that all
I remember that.
They beat
Nolan
Duke and
Richardson,
Charlotte
right?
for the national title that year. But that's what they did. They just picked you up and just strangled you. And so right now, Maddie on a dive out tries to pick off the pass, and as we're back underway with 4:35 and counting, Carroll looking to get a stop, trailing by 6, 38-32. Down on the low block, they go to Garber. And a quick pass over to
good defense by
number 4.
Carroll. Yeah, very, very good defense.
Shot clock under 10. Hovey now, elbow jumper, no good. And Albrecht with a good rebound. It was a good defensive possession.
Very good defensive sequence there by Carroll.
And a miss doesn't allow the press really to materialize.
Right.
So Carroll got the stop there. Garrett's in the high post. Now she's going to dribble and take it in, and a foul, and Maddie has the last 2 field goals for the Fighting Saints, looking to get a couple of buckets at the free throw line and make this a 2-possession game.
Carroll able to get the ball to one of their good post players right at the elbow and have the court pretty spread and then attack the rim, and that was effective.
So Maddie, the super senior, she and Pickens coming back for that last ride together. And Maddie steps to the line and knocks it in. Let's see what we had Maddie last year from the charity stripe. About a 75% free throw shooter, Coach.
Good free throw shooter.
Carroll's just a good free throw shooting team,
Yeah.
and she makes them both. And Maddie has 6 straight points for the Fighting Saints, and it's back to a 4-point Wildcat lead with under 4 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Game number 1, Carroll's schedule this year is absolutely brutal. They'll play MSU next Saturday here at the Pease Center. Friday night banquet, 50 years of basketball, women's basketball. We'll talk about that coming up as well. But right now, the Saints defense is playing really well, Coach. Another good possession by Carroll. Step through and just throws it up at the end and gets it to go. And sometimes
tough shot.
It was a tough shot. And so that allows the press to come at midcourt, and those long arms getting tips on the ball. Carroll, though, able to get it back.
And then they keep the press on. Once you get it over the half court, they keep that pressure on.
They get it into Garrett's. And another strip getting in the passing lane. Here's the run out by Hovey. She's going to attack the rack, lay it in. And a little 4-0 run now pumps the lead back up to 8 for Indiana Wesleyan as we move under 3 minutes left to go here in the quarter. Oakland now. 3 seconds. Carroll's got to get across. They do now. Ava Oakland had a strong first half for the Fighting Saints off the bench. Now in the ball game, gets it to Albrecht. Willa Albrecht attacks. And like you said earlier in the ball game, Coach, if you're going to drive baseline, go all the way. And she did that time.
Yeah, you do. You got to go all the way.
Willa draws the foul and will go to the line to shoot a pair. Willa Albrecht, a transfer in from the University of Montana, was a part of that Billings West Co-state title-winning team back in 2020. They shared that title with the Capital Bruins.
That's right. That was the COVID game, right?
That was the COVID year, yeah. That
Didn't get to play the championship.
Did not get to play. Every semifinalist was declared a co-champion. Tailgate and Skyview split.
And if you look back on that, that wasn't probably, in hindsight, they should have played the game.
At that point, because I was at that tournament, I was calling that high school tournament, and we had heard rumblings, and we were the last state-sanctioned event, I think, in the country playing basketball. And Auburn able to make one of two.
Yeah.
But if you don't start the tournament at all, or once you get, we've been in the gym together for 2 days.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was March of 2020. Nobody knew anything.
No.
And I remember we're sitting there, and the NBA canceled their season.
That's what happened, and then everybody in the country panicked.
And then
who was the player for the
Rudy Gobert
for the Utah Jazz?
Rudy Gobert.
He
rubbed
was
the
catalyst. He was the catalyst for everything that happened.
He was, but we didn't know anything in March of 2020, so they decided. But at that point, we were already in the gym for 2 days, and it was a shame. That would have been a lot of fun. That was the Barch twins' junior year. Capital would go on to win it outright next year. And Jamie Pickens back in the ballgame, and just what the doctor ordered, Coach.
And they attacked the press. Kendall Keller with a great job. Kendall's looking more comfortable at the point the longer the game goes, and she did a great job attacking the press that time, breaking it down, and she's the one that caused that, and then made a great skip pass.
And so Pickens at the line for the three-point play. Just when it seems like Indiana Wesleyan is going to run away with it, Carroll slowly reels it back in. It's back to a 4-point game as Jamie completes the three-point play the old-fashioned way at the charity stripe. 42-38 our score. More wholesale changes for the Wildcats. As there's a drive on the wing by Reed. No good. Rebounded by the Fighting Saints. And here comes Keller. Pressure in the backcourt by Reed. Keller trying to get it to the ground. Screen by Garrett. And now the Saints have a chance to make this a 2-point game as Oakland's going to drive and dish right there at the end. Great dish, avoiding the charge on the baseline. Ava Oakland with the assist, and Maddie Garrett with a great third quarter. 8 points in the third period, and we're back to a 2-point game, Coach, 42-40. With a minute 40 left here in the third quarter, and Carroll has stormed back once again. They trailed by 12 in the first half to tie it. And then they trailed by 8 here in the third quarter, and now they've made it a 2-point game, 42-40. Fighting Saints not going quietly into that good night here on opening night at the PE Center, 2023-24 season. And Carroll with a little momentum here, Coach, forces a timeout of the Wesleyan Wildcats.
The more success Carroll has against the press, when they're able to handle that press, they're able to really hurt Indiana Wesleyan defensively. When Indiana Wesleyan's press is effective, they're able to hurt Carroll. It's just a tale of two cities right now, and it's just great. Carroll handling the press the last 4 or 5 minutes there, and then went on a nice run.
They do, and when Carroll can get a stop, that press can't materialize.
Yeah.
It allows them to get into their half-court set quicker.
Yeah.
Jamie's been more effective. We saw it on that last time she touched the ball down low, got the and one. Maddie Garrett's having a fantastic period. Really keeping Carroll afloat here. 8 points in the period. And, the Fighting Saints, if they can just limit the turnovers. Because, again, not even a turnover, but when you're getting into your offensive set 12 seconds into the shot clock, it really limits what you can do. Because you're right, Coach, they don't stop the pressure just because you advance it across the timeline.
Yeah, they keep it on you. They'll get another trap and slow you down again.
So Wesleyan will have the ball back into the game. Jade Nutley, she's joined by Jordan Reed. Also, Fulkema, number 21. Number 14, Jasmine Griffin, also on the floor. And 24, Claire Merrill. Nice little step through, keeping the pivot foot, but missed on the bunny was number 21, Fulkema. And Carroll now looking to possibly take their first lead of the ball game, Coach.
Traffic by Kendall Keller there, your point guard.
They get the post and a collapse on Jamie, so she kicks out of it, gets it to Albrecht out on the perimeter. And a foul away from the ball as Garrett goes tumbling down.
She just plowed into a Jamie.
So the foul's going to be on number 21, Fulkema. That's her fourth.
Ooh.
So fourth for Fulkema, a very key piece, but they go so deep. I mean, they can
Yeah.
The way they play, you expect girls to foul out in this system.
Exactly.
With the
play
way they
so
play.
hard.
Yeah,
they do.
Their coach understands. He'd rather you pick up the fourth. As Fulcom is going to check out and into the ball game, number 23, Jordan Reed, also in. They bring in Bria Gerber in. And Maddie now 3 for 3 in the ball game from the charity stripe, about 76% from a year ago. She's got 9 points in the quarter, coach, and we're a free throw away from tied up at 42. Goes to a routine. Crowd hushes, and Garrett bangs it in. What a luxury to have.
Yeah.
Somebody of her caliber that goes to the line, been there, done that. The moment's not too big. Calmly knocks down 2 free throws to tie it at 42. Carroll looking for a stop. They have not led in this ball game, by the way, the Fighting Saints. Quickly swing it out on the wing. They get it to Nutley up top, picked up by Jamie Pickens. Back over Nutley with a long three.
Ooh.
That was from the men's line, coach.
Yeah, and that's very well executed that time.
And just like that, the Wildcats go back up by 3, 45-42. Jade Nutley is a gamer. Oakland almost has it stolen, gets it back to Keller, who finds Pickens. And Pickens tried to find Albrecht, but a nice correction there by Garber. And now Albrecht looking to inbound on the baseline. And Keller never looked for it, and a turnover. Carroll had this game tied at 42, and now the Wildcats looking to go on a little run when the final minute of the period. They lead by 3, 45-42, as Nutley, about a second differential between shot and game clock, about 0.8 of a second, really, coach.
So they'll go for one here.
They're going to hold for the last shot. Nutley now hands it off to Merrill. Gets it over to Reed, back up top. They got the shot they wanted.
Ooh.
Nutley can't buy the basket, and it's a rebound by Oakland. She got the look.
She got a nice look.
And didn't knock it down.
Yeah.
And that was a deep three. And so after 3 periods of play, Carroll trails by 3, 45-42, in a game in which the Saints aren't going away, coach. They're fighting, they're clawing, and they're going to have to bring that effort here in the fourth quarter because they've never led. I've said this a couple of times. I don't mean to sound like a broken record. They've never led in this ball game, but they've stayed right there.
They're playing smarter. They're playing a lot smarter. Defensively, they're not trying to get up and put quite so much pressure on. They're gapping back a little bit and makes it a little bit easier for them to guard the dribble drive. And they're not getting beat on the ball as much. And Indiana Wesleyan's got some counters for that. And, they just got a couple of pretty good looks at the three. But you're better off making them take those threes than letting them get right to the rim like they were early.
Yeah. And Carroll has whittled it down a little by little after each period. If you look, coach, they trailed by 10 at the end of the first quarter, 18-10. At the half, they trailed 6. 30-24.
Yep.
Now they trail by 3, whittling it down, 45-42, our score. Maddie Garrett's with a huge third quarter for the Fighting Saints, 9 points.
Exactly.
It's all predicated on beating that press, though. I don't want to oversimplify things.
When they do that, they're able to really attack Indiana Wesleyan's defense. When they're able to get the ball down in a reasonable amount of time, then they're able to make them pay.
As they come out of timeout, I want to remind our viewers that tomorrow, Carroll College Fighting Saints football, ranked number 11th in the country, coming off their first loss of the season, 35-21 at home last week, traveling longest road trip, final road trip of the season to Ashland, Oregon, to play Southern Oregon in a pivotal game for the Fighting Saints. 2 p.m. kickoff. Rewind 94.9 will have you covered for the call. Nick Deason has traveled out to Ashland for that ball game. 1:30 start time on Rewind 94.9 and KCAP.com. Fourth quarter underway. Carroll with the ball, coach, trailing by 3. A bucket here goes a long way. You want to start the period on a right note. They can tie it with a 3 or cut it to 1. And there goes Maddie. Once again, I'm sorry, coach, I keep bumping you. But
beautiful. Well done by Maddie.
She's really found a nice little weakness in that defense. She's got 11 now here in the second half and makes it a 1-point game. And now Carroll trying. There was a tip. Yeah, they're going to overturn this. He's saying backcourt. Yeah. There was a tip.
Yeah, it was tip.
So we'll see if it stays with the Fighting Saints. I think they're going to make this a tip ball. So we'll see as the officials converge, but Carroll really amped up their defense, and they're going to say over back. We'll see what the officials say. Okay, so the officials talked with Coach Whaley and say there was a tip. We thought it was going to be we thought it was not going to get overturned. And now a reach-in foul as the pass took Kendall. Would that have been a backcourt violation of that? Because she was running from the front court to the backcourt.
Yeah, you got to have all three. It's the worst, hardest call in basketball right there. That's a really tough call.
She was bailed out, though, by Merrill. They didn't have to make that decision.
Right.
A reach-in foul. That's the third on Merrill. First
they just
team
pressure
foul.
everything. They don't let you get the ball in bounds.
They don't
can help it.
They don't. But Carroll trails by one, Coach, and they can take the lead as Kendall Keller with the ball gets it to Pickens on the high post. Pull-up jumper and won't go. But there's Maddie, and look at that. Maddie Garrett with another big rebound, and she'll go to the line with a chance to tie it and possibly give the Saints their first lead of the ball game here in the fourth quarter. 9:17 left, 45-44 is our score.
And that's 2 team fouls on Indiana Wesleyan.
I wonder if Conlon Burke can get me an updated stat sheet.
Conlon?
And we have a tie ball game, 45, and Carroll now looking for their first lead. As Garrett steps to the line with, I think, 12 points here in the second half. Make it 13, and the Saints lead. 46-45 with 9:15 left on the floor for Carroll. You've got Keller, Aubrey, Pickens, Garrett, and Ava Oakland, who's had an outstanding game off the bench. And we got a whistle away from the ball. And it looks like Pickens was running through the screen and knocks Garber to the ground. That'll be the third on Jamie.
Yeah.
So starting to be a little bit of an issue there. Just the first team foul of the quarter, 9:07. I don't do as much college quarter basketball. I do more. You don't see a lot of bonus in women's basketball, do you?
Well, each quarter, you start over each quarter.
Yeah.
So you don't see as many fouls shot. You're exactly right.
Okay.
I like the rule.
I do too. I'm not complaining. I just noticed that nobody's been in the bonus tonight in any quarter.
Did you see the Carroll players handling the pressure better?
They are, Coach.
Yeah.
As they look to feed Garrett's again, Oakland runs it down. It's tipped out to the perimeter. Open three, top key. Aubrey buries it. Willa.
Boy, she rhythmed up on that night. She took her time and really rhythmed up nice.
That is a great stroke by Willa Albrecht. She's got double digits, and Carroll's got its largest lead, 49-45. Nutley can't answer the three. Jump ball, possession error is going to give it to the Wildcats. But Willa Albrecht off a missed shot down low, a tip out. The defense has collapsed down low, steps right in rhythm three.
Boy, she did. Beautifully done. She didn't hurry it.
And that is so big for a new player's confidence like that. We know how talented is.
Jamie just got a steal there on the out of bounds, Stuart.
It's
hard for you to see over there.
Pickens distracted. Garrett came away with the ball. Now Carroll, it's really been all Fighting Saints here for the last 3 minutes of this period. Actually, since the start of the fourth quarter, the Wildcats have not scored here in the fourth quarter. As Aubrey, with the three on the last possession, looks to feed. Another reach-in foul by Garber. And
gosh, they are physical.
They are, and they're going to get the offensive foul this time on Maddie.
There was
hand jacket. They could have called a reach-in on Garber.
They really could have.
They're letting them play, but they got Maddie on that. Into the ball game, Maddie Lawrence in for Indiana Wesleyan, joining Jordan Reed. Izzy Erickson comes in for Maddie Garrett, who has 2 personal fouls, 2 team fouls now. Jade Nutley stays on the floor as Fulkema comes back in. She's got 4 fouls, Coach. Nice tip by Erickson, but it goes into the hands of Nutley in the corner. Nutley turn around in the lane, and it's no good. Erickson with great defense. And now she gets the rebound, hands it off to Keller. Of course, the miss. We've seen Carroll handle that press because there's been no made basket this period by the Wesleyan Wildcats.
There's a double team on Jamie. Oh, they recover out of that double team.
Willa with another three. This time it won't go. She tries to crash the board. Bodies hit the floor, and they're going to say out of bounds on Aubrey as she was laying on the end line.
What's the foul count?
But again,
How many fouls do they have?
it's a situation where the inability of the Wildcats to make a shot here in the fourth quarter have allowed Carroll opportunities to get out without any pressure.
They do a really good job of, the reason Jamie isn't scoring, they're double teaming her. Every catch on the low post, Stuart, it's tough. And they do it well, and they rotate out of it well.
So nice crowd here at the PE Center as Carroll looks to start the season 1-0, but there's Nutley, first basket.
Gosh, that was a tough play.
It really was.
Really
She's she's a tough ball player. Again,
Yeah.
honorable mention All-American from a year ago. Only a junior coach. And a turnover in the backcourt. You see what happens. A made bucket. The press comes back. Carroll leads 49-47 with 6:45, but a made bucket, and you know that pressure is going to be dialed up to 11. And they don't run out of gas. This is a fit team. I mean, I'm exhausted watching this game. Inbounds goes to Nutley. Going to hand it off to Merrill. Erickson on the pressure. Nice little roll to the basket, and then a dump down underneath. Reed gets it. A great look.
Two beautiful plays there by Indiana Wesleyan.
Yes.
Just well-executed plays.
Jade Nutley out of Madison, Indiana with a nice dish. She is their go-to, especially when they're missing Lily Frazier, their second-team All-American. We're tied at 49, 6:15 left in this ball game. Pickens turn around off 1 foot. No, but there's Ava Oakland. I'm sorry, Coach. I get excited and I hit you, and I apologize.
It's great, Stuart.
51-49.
When you bump me, it's always after something good, so I want lots of bumps.
I'm sorry, Coach. But Ava Oakland has really played well.
Yes, she
tonight.
has. She really has.
And a drive won't go, rebounded by Oakland, and now she's going to push it, and we've got a technical from the bench.
Ooh.
The Wildcat bench has been teed up for saying something to the official. Not sure who it was on. It wasn't the coach.
No, it was one of the players.
It was one of the players from the bench. I'm not sure what was said. And so, as now the official and Coach Whaley have a couple of words. And so Whaley was careful because that official almost pulled out a tee there. And Whaley's got to be careful they don't compound this.
Well, if I didn't get to you, then you're dismissed from the game.
Well, does the bench go against the coach?
It'll go against the coach.
Okay,
so you can get your coach rung.
So he's still pleading his case to the official that did not call, one of the officials that did not call it. Jamie Pickens, meanwhile, at the charity stripe, and Whaley's on the floor right now. He's got to be careful because he is continuing to argue with the official as Pickens goes 2 for 2 on the technical free throws, and Carroll leads 53-49, and the official's giving him a lot of length right now, and he's told him he's getting close. You got to be careful. 53-49 our score. A lot going on right here. Got chaotic all of a sudden.
It did.
I'm not sure what the bench said for Indiana Wesleyan, but 5:50 left to go here in the ball game, and it's 53-49. Carroll will have the ball after the technical free throws made by Pickens. And not sure if that was a little bit of a makeup call there, Coach.
Yeah, they got on the inbounds. Carroll said apparently a moving screen.
I couldn't see. I'm kind of obstructed right now. Because I'm not sure where the coach's box is at the college level. It looks like it's down there, but
it's supposed to be.
I know they give him a little leash. And so down the lane and good goes Maddie Lawrence.
That's a nice drive by Maddie.
It's a 2-point game again. Erica Nesson throws it back to Oakland, who's going to just try to beat her off the dribble, beats Reed, and almost lose the ball. And yes, she does. Beat the pressure, and then at the last minute when she was getting ready to give it up, lost control, and they call her for a double dribble travel turnover. 53-51. Carroll leads by 2. Under 5.5 minutes left in this one. Carroll did not lead in this ball game until almost midway through the fourth quarter, Coach, and now they're holding on to that lead as they look to get a stop. Down low goes Lawrence, backing her way.
Pure ISO.
Lawrence, again, she's bodying up extra.
And she's got enough a game where she'll just back her girl down. That time, Coach cleared it out, cleared the whole side out for her. She just kept her dribble, back down, patient, drew the foul.
And so Maddie Lawrence will go to the line. Last year, Lawrence was a 73% free throw shooter a year ago. Yeah, just physically, a little bit bigger than Eric Ekstrom and was able to just back her down on the low block and then force the foul. And so Maddie Lawrence will be at the line to shoot a pair and makes this a 1-point game, 53-52. Yeah, we were really close to seeing a double tech on Wesleyan.
I'd hate to see that.
Yeah, I would not want it to end that way.
Yeah.
And so now, so 30, I could have sworn it was Addie Erickson, and now they're disagreeing. Are they giving it to Ava Oakland? I'm not sure who. There was confusion because her coach Sayers think it was on Erickson. And they have still not put it up, but nevertheless, Lawrence hits both of her free throws.
We're tied.
And we're tied at 53.
Yeah.
Who was that foul on, Conlon? Willa Albrecht got the foul. Thought it was Erickson, but they gave it to. And now Carroll breaks the press, 5 minutes left. Erickson in the high post, brings it down. Pickens getting a rest here in the latter stages of the ball game. She'll come on in the next minute or so to finish out. Maddie Garrett's out of the double team, throws it to Erickson. We can't hang on to it. 5 seconds. Nesson's got to do something with it. Throws it up at the rim, won't go. That's going to be a shot clock violation. No, they're going to give the ball to Wesleyan on the rebound. And so Wesleyan gets the stop they needed, now looking to retake the lead. Lawrence with the ball up top, picked up by Erickson, hands it off to Nutley. She's going to drive right side down the baseline, down the lane, and a block by Erickson. What a great play.
Izzy Erickson, super defense.
Has been playing out of her mind defensively. Pickens and Keller come to the scorer's table, checking at the next dead ball. Into the corner, they give it to Nesson. 15 on the shot clock as Oakland has it on the perimeter. Now over to Nesson. They feed the post to Erickson. And they're going to say she stuttered her feet. I didn't see that.
It's hard to travel when you're dribbling.
Yes. I thought that.
It really is. Sometimes the officials looking at your feet.
Yeah.
And they see you move your feet. They don't realize that you're
dribbling the basketball.
I think that's what happened that time.
You're exactly right, Coach. And a timeout on the floor with 4:04 left in this ball game. And we're tied at 53. Could you ask for anything more on opening night?
No, it's
a
great.
Top 10 matchup nationally. Yeah. Two teams that were knocked out of the tournament by the same team in the NAI National Dance last year. Dakota State beat Carroll in the round of 16, beat this Wesleyan team in the round of 8. And both these teams back with large portions of those units from a year ago, looking to make runs in March and starting it out here in Helena. What a way to kick things off.
Well, it's really been a fun game to watch. Two really well-coached teams. Carroll's got an advantage on the boards, rebounding. That's been how they've really gotten back into this ball game and got it tied up. And, of course, Indiana Wesleyan's got the advantage with their press. And sometimes when you're a really good pressing team, you know, there's other things you're not going to do as well because you can obviously tell they spend a heck of a lot of time working on their press and they're good at it.
Quick score update. Helena High has pulled away from Skyview where it was a 6-point game. Helena went on a 14-0 run to make it 34-14. And looks like they're going to maybe pull away for a big win. And if they do win, they'll head to Gallatin High in Bozeman, Van Winkle Stadium, new Van Winkle Stadium next Friday night in the quarterfinal round of the playoffs. So great job by Dane Broadhead, a former Carroll College Fighting Saints quarterback.
Very, very well-liked, popular player here when he played here.
The last Carroll quarterback to play in a national championship.
That's right.
And so right now, Carroll needs a stop. We're tied at 53, under 4 minutes left to play. Reed has the ball. Out on the perimeter, she has a few players, and Reed affected by Albrecht. That is great defense.
Good defense by Albrecht there. Villa, good defense. Make her tough shot, tough shot, and don't foul.
Keller back into the ball game along with Oakland, Garrett, Pickens, and Albrecht. Skip pass, Keller. Can she pull that? Oh, too strong. Tough shooting night for Kendall Keller and a reach-in foul on Ava Oakland. So Kendall still having a tough time finding her stroke from the field, which will not be the case more often than not. Kendall Keller will be going for double digits annually or night in and night out, but just really.
That's a shot she normally makes.
Yes.
Now, Stuart, they'll be in the bonus now, 5 fouls each quarter, and then you're in the bonus. And it just, the rule's been going for the last couple of years.
It's two shots.
2 shots. And I like the way the rule is. But Carroll's had a few little fouls. That was kind of a silly foul there, but
Jordan Reed steps to the line and knocks down the first
free throws.
Yeah, and that's the third foul on Ava Oakland. And Reed calmly knocks him down, and it is a 2-point Wildcat lead with under 3.5 to go here in Helena. Nice little crossover by Oakland, gets it to Pickens. She's picked up by Merrill. And now he's going to try a little dribble handoff and gets it to Keller. Keller drives left side, gets it to Albrecht, who puts it up and can't get it to fall.
A lot of contact there.
There was a lot of contact. Good move by Albrecht, just couldn't finish. And now Carroll needing a stop as they trail by 2, and we got a technical foul on Carroll. They're going to get Coach Sayers. So now both teams with a technical foul. Man, how things can change in an instant here on the college hardwood.
Coach Sayers thought that there was a foul there on Willis Drive, and no call by the lead official there. And so each team now will have a technical foul called on them. So each coach will have to be careful.
Jordan Reed calmly makes her first. She was a 79% free throw shooter last year. Now it's a 3-point game. A free throw make here, and it becomes a 2-possession contest.
Stuart, I think Rochelle's been here, I don't know, maybe her 12th year,
Yep.
something like that. And I can count on one hand the number of technical fouls she's had
in
12 years.
And again, I thought it was odd. I didn't hear anything, and I'm sitting right beside the Indiana Wesleyan bench. I heard nothing coming from the bench. Now I heard Coach Whaley after that was heated, rightfully so. But yeah, these officials, I'm not going to give them a grade, but it's opening night for them as well, Coach. And a bucket miss. Carroll, can they run it down? We'll see who last touched it. It'll stay with the Wildcats, as Carroll could not run it down. Reed went 1 of 2 on that trip. 2:41 left to go in this one. Carroll will be taking off for Spokane, Washington tomorrow.
Right. They play Whitworth?
Whitworth, yes.
Whitworth, I think, yeah.
Yep. So Anna just losing it off her leg. The Carroll men will open up play in Arizona next week, I believe, on the 4th. And, of course, Carroll women will be back here on this floor November 4th against Montana State University.
Is that a week from tonight? No, a week from tomorrow.
Week from tomorrow,
Week
yes.
from tomorrow.
They're going to do the 50 years of women's basketball banquet the night before, which I'm sure you'll be in attendance for, Coach Turcotte. Should be a special night as the Bobcats, Lady Cats, come to town. Carroll needs a bucket here. Pickens has it, double teamed, dribbles out of it,
and
throws
they
it up
rotate
top
so well out of it.
They find Oakland for 3, ties the game, Coach.
And they made him pay.
Oakland.
That's the first time they've made him pay for double teaming Jamie.
Ava Oakland has had an outstanding ball game. She didn't start, but she's played starters minutes tonight. And we're tied at 56, under 2 minutes left. Nutley throwing it up at the rim, tough shot. She's kind of got that two-handed kind of push shot a little bit at times. And Carroll gets the rebound, and now Albrecht with the ball on the wing looks to feed the post, and a nice jumping of the route, and that's going to be 5 on number 21, Taylor Fulkema. And so Fulkema fouls out. And it was a play where she almost got the steal. Could have been it's one of those 50-50 calls by the officials. They kind of just.
Is that the 4th team foul? It is.
So she's out. So we've got some confusion. People yelling that Coach kind of got a timeout without taking a timeout, right?
Yeah, sometimes they give you a little time to substitute.
Now Carroll calls the timeout. But he took his time as Fulkema made her way off the court and then kind of just stood there on the court. It's a full timeout by Carroll. They have 3 remaining, 2 timeouts for the Wildcats. 1:44 left in this one, Coach, and we're tied at 56. Carroll be inbounding near side baseline. What's the play call you're drawing on?
Well, both teams will be in the bonus after this foul. Both teams will be in the bonus. So every foul, you'll be shooting 2 free throws. So you're going to get your real best out of bounds play. And of course, this time of year, you maybe only have 1 or 2 out of bounds plays in. So one that you've run a million times that you know you can get it in. And, you'd like to get the ball to Jamie if you could. Jamie is also really effective at the elbow, and you can't double team her there. So that's a thought of maybe getting Jamie Pickens the ball at the elbow. If you get her at the low post, they're going to double team her. Now, last time, Carroll passed out of it and got a 3 for Ava Oakland, so that isn't so bad either. But you'd like to go to Jamie if you could here.
Yeah, and getting the inbounds. We know the pressure that this Indiana Wesleyan team is going to put on the ball and really, be interesting to – This is a chess match right now. You have to love this as a coach when you know that you've got to get it in, they've got to stop you, and who can out-execute the other team.
And there's a lot of timeouts left. Carroll has 3 timeouts left. Indiana Wesleyan has 2, so – we'll see probably a lot of stoppages of play here coming down this last minute 44.
This is a big out-of-bounds play, Coach. For the Fighting Saints, we know that Kokomo has fouled out, and so it'll be Albrecht to inbound. A good play here can give the Fighting Saints the lead. They try to go short to Pickens. It's not there, and they call the timeout. They gave him the 5-second. I thought, Lee Cow, they went 5-second count on them. They tried to run that short little screen right there to Pickens, and Coach Sayers got to be careful because she's already got one.
That was one of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, that was a quick count in the end. Nevertheless, Coach, a turnover by the Fighting Saints, and now with a minute and a half left, Jordan Reed's going to drive and throw it to Nutley. She gets to the foul line, picked up by Pickens. Merrill, shot fake, kicks it out. Lawrence, long 3 from the wing, no good. Rebound by Oakland. Ava Oakland now pushes it into the front court. Carroll can set up for a go-ahead bucket. I'd like to drive. There you go. Get it to Maddie Garrett's on the low block and then drive something to the basket. Up top, Ava Oakland. Wing 3, no good, but there's Jamie Pickens. Pickens with a quick shot and good. And Carroll leads it with a minute to go, Coach, 58-56.
And the offensive rebounds have favored Carroll. Carroll's done a good job on the board.
The Fighting Saints with a huge offensive rebound by Jamie Pickens, and I was going to say quick shot, but when it goes in, it was the right shot.
Yeah.
In Pickens we trust, and Jamie Pickens, the All-American for Carroll, puts the Fighting Saints on top, 58-56.
A big rebound by Ava Oakland defensively, and then not afraid to take a shot at the offensive end.
And so now, Coach, that chess match continues. You're in the huddle. Carroll can't foul. They've got to play clean defense because obviously the bonus time now. But if you're Coach Whaley, you want to drive something at the basket? Is that what you're looking to do? They've jacked up a couple of threes here that maybe he wasn't keen on.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what Indiana Wesleyan does here. Though it depends if they score or not. If they don't score, then you want to run a little bit of clock before you take your shot. But he'll have a good play set.
So Nutley in the half court here, near side with Pickens picking her up. Lawrence falls down, and Garrett steps the route. Maddie Garrett's coast to coast, and the Saints lead by 4. What a great play by the super seniors. Pickens and Garrett's leading the way down the stretch. And a foul on the play. That'll send Lawrence to the line to shoot 2, and you can hear the Boo Birds come out here in the PE Center. Not happy with that call. My view was obstructed. I've got the best and worst seat in the house, Coach.
We didn't get a good look. You and I couldn't tell.
The people on the watching had a better view than I did.
But that's a big call. It's a real big call because Carroll had the rebound on that one.
Oh, yes. So Carroll leads by 4, but Lawrence at the line shooting 2. She's 2 of 2 for the ball game and makes the first.
I don't think they've missed a free throw.
They missed one when they had the technical fouls.
They did. Boy, they're just a great free throw shooting team.
Yep.
And last year, I think in the game Carroll played, they didn't miss one.
Yeah, no, this team's amazing. Again, they played last year. Carroll lost 59-36. That game was in Indiana. And Lawrence goes 2 for 2, and now we've got a sub as Hovey checks into the ballgame for Lawrence. Maybe a little offense for defense.
So you want to make sure you handle the press right here. And let's see.
See where they're going to inbound this ball. Carroll calls a timeout. And these guys, I don't even think
when that happens, you get to advance.
They don't even realize it. They've got a timeout over here.
When you call timeout, you advance to half court.
Yeah. Again, Coach Whaley is trying. So The original issue was that they were saying that the sub was not allowed.
Oh, I got you.
But Carroll had called a timeout, and so they've already huddled up. And now Indiana Wesleyan is just now huddling up because Coach Whaley was arguing with the official down here about whether the sub was legal.
And this is
Carroll called a timeout.
One of the new rules where you can call timeout and advance to half court like the NBA, which really takes the press away from them.
I like that a lot. Carroll has 2 timeouts remaining. They lead by 2, 60-59, and almost turn it over. They do turn it over. Can't do that, Coach. Jordan Reed loses the ball now, gets it back. Nutley underneath, can't get it, but that's 4 on Jamie Pickens.
Ooh, that was a bad inbounds play there.
Yeah, I mean, that is just
bad inbounds. Yeah. You got to get the ball inbounds.
That's the second inbounds play we've seen. Carroll turned it over on a 5-second count down on the baseline, and then they just had it tipped. And now Carroll calls it. Do they call another timeout? No, they just do a sub.
And Jamie is fouled out.
That was 5 on Pickens.
5.
Excuse me. That is tough sledding with 34 seconds. Good news is Carroll leads it by 2. Bad news is you got an All-American at the line in Jade Nutley shooting free throws. Last year, Nutley 75% on the season. And
they just don't miss them.
No, it's very robotic-like. Just get up there and just bang them in. Well, what a game we've got coming down to the wire, Coach. 4-second differential between shot and game clock. As we'll see if Nutley can tie this game, and she does at 60. And so Carroll will use that timeout. They've got 2. I thought they called a timeout early, but it was when Pickens fouled out. They huddled up.
Yeah.
So Carroll will have 1 timeout left after this one. A 30-second timeout. They'll be inbounding. Now, Coach, we've seen the last 2 inbounds in the front court not work out for the Fighting Saints.
Well, that was a bad mistake there. I mean, that's a kind of that when you're coaching that you wake up at 2 in the morning and you say, you got a 2-point lead and the ball on the sideline out of bounds and a new shot clock. You don't get it in bounds and turn it over and they go down and score. So first thing you got to do, you got a sideline out of bounds if you're Carroll. Now you got to get the ball in bounds. And you've got 30 seconds on the shot clock, 34 seconds on the play clock. So you got some time. You can run some clock here if you want.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Do you run this down and leave them as little time? When do you take your shot? If you get it in, do you take the best available shot?
I think so, because I just don't think at this time of year that the girls are good enough ball handlers.
To run late clock situations?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd try to get the best shot I could.
Okay, that's fair.
That would be me.
Yeah. Coach Albrecht. Will Albrecht inbounds this time, gets it in. They get it down to Oakland, who does take a quick shot. Can't make the layup. And now the shot clock is off. They can hold for the final shot. Indiana Wesleyan, Coach. This game is definitely coming down to the final possession. 60 apiece. Wesleyan on the road, number 4 in the country, trying to knock off the 6th-ranked Saints on opening night. A little bump there. Again, bonus time. Maddie Lawrence with the ball. Gets it to the far elbow. Drives Kendall Keller down. Spins. Shot up and good. And Carroll has a timeout. It looked like, I'm not sure Coach Sayers wanted that timeout. I know Garrett's called it.
Well, you get to advance the court if you do, so it's a good timeout.
So Wesleyan pumped up coming on the court. The official saying go to your bench to celebrate. Now, Coach, here we go. This is the ball game.
Yeah.
5.5 seconds left.
Which is a lot of time.
Carroll down by 2.
Yeah.
Best shot, you go for the win. Well, I mean, just.
If you could get a 3, take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could get a good look at a 3, take it. Which they may want here because they don't have Jamie. Right. So you might want to go for the win.
And I'll say this, no matter what happens in this final 5.5 seconds, this Carroll season is built for March. You don't win a national championship in October and November.
No.
You set yourself up for success, and the performance tonight by Carroll has been outstanding overall.
Sure,
win or lose.
Yeah.
Here we go. Albrecht inbound on the near side. Gets it to Garrett's. Garrett's pump fakes. She's going to drive. Puts it up. Short. And that's going to be your ball game. I don't mind the shot, Coach, but unfortunately the Saints are going to lose by 2 to Indiana Wesleyan, who is overjoyed on the floor celebrating here at the PE Center. And again, it was a tough ball game. Carroll had opportunities to win it, but in the end, they just couldn't cut over that last hurdle.
Yeah, Indiana Wesleyan just played a little bit better the last 2 minutes of the game. You got to give them credit. Carroll played a very, very good competitive game, but at crunch time, Indiana Wesleyan played a little bit better. And congratulations to them.
Well, Carroll fought back, Coach. They were down 12 in the first quarter.
They did.
And they were down 10 at the end of the first. They were down by 6 at the half.
Yeah.
And they kept whittling it down.
Yeah.
They took leads. Their first lead came in the fourth quarter, about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. And they led by as many, I think, by 4. Some technical fouls by both teams really made this a disjointed fourth period. Yeah. And in the end, the Wesleyan able to get a couple of more baskets and Carroll not able to convert. I thought it was a good look by Maddie. I mean, she got to the rack. And
it was a good look. Good play by Coach Sayers, a good drop. That was definitely the girl you wanted to go to. She'd been able to finish all game. And a good play.
And you like this. You see the teams coming up at midcourt. Shaky hand sportsmanship, hard-fought game, but it's over and done with. And you have a prayer. Safe travels to Indiana Wesleyan. Again, their coach came up and said, how many times has Helena been in a Hallmark movie? Saying how picturesque it looks right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty to look at, but it's
nice job.
Thank you so much.